Adab, Sat Shri Akal, and a very warm welcome in this beautiful day, everybody. This is anchor Neha Srivastav, and I would like to welcome you all the lovely gathering on behalf of Smart Meter Summit 2023 third edition. Today, we have a very honorable guest here. I'm talking about Mr. Ashok Kumar Rajput is here, and I just want you from all the lovely gathering, let's welcome him with the round of applause. Everyone, give applause for Mr. Ashok Kumar Rajput, Member of Power System, Central Electricity Authority, Ministry of Power, Government of India. I request Mr. Ashok, please come on the stage and have a seat. Thank you very much, sir. And our another guest is yet to arrive. He's quite stuck in the traffic, but he'll be here very soon. Let's begin this event along with our honorable guest, Mr. Ashok Kumar Rajput. Let me tell you something about him. He has experience of 37 years of academy professional experience in Indian power sector covering. Experience in the field of thermal power generating station operation and maintenance. Planning and development of electricity distribution network with added focus on reliability of power supply and loss reduction in distribution system. Formulation of national electricity policy, national traffic policy, rural electrification policy. Regulation on electricity meters, electricity plants and lines, safety in respect of electrical plants and lines, consultancy to state electricity boards, SEBS on distribution system augmentation. Everyone, now I will request to Mr. Ashok, kindly please come at the podium and present your presentation. Let's begin, let's inaugurate and start this event along with Ashok sir's presentation. Everyone, once again, give applause to Mr. Ashok.
Good morning, namaskar sabhi ko. All the dignitaries here, the respected guests, learned participants. I am just one among you, a simple engineer, known as the electrical engineer in this power sector. Presently, they have introduced me. I am holding the post of Member Power Systems in Central Electricity Authority. Just as a customary, those who are quite new, to tell them that what CEA does. CEA is basically a technical arm of the Ministry of Power, guiding the Ministry of Power and the whole of the power sector in all technical matters and related to the policy and regulatory matters. Please don't co-start. So, there was some noise. Naturally, in the communication, some noise is a part, integral part. And what is your theme? Theme is the smart metering. Smart metering is based on, the foundation stone is communication systems. Without having a reliable and robust communication system, we cannot imagine that the smart metering systems will work. It is just incidental. I am just making a remark. But in formal words, and whatsoever my free ideas are there, I would be telling my own ideas. They will be having resemblance and reflections of the government programs and the government policies. I am happy to say and happy to share with you that I am the person who has been responsible in bringing out the metering regulations, the famous metering regulations brought out for the first time by CEA in 2006. That is the installation and operation of meters, and the Electricity Act provides that CEA should prepare the regulations. So that's the journey. My journey, of course, started with the thermal power generating stations, then the electricity distribution system, and for a long time have been in the distribution system, knowing many aspects of the distribution system, and also not knowing many aspects, because the system is so vast that you cannot claim that you know each and everything. You can know a bit of it, you can feel the problems, you can feel the pains of the industry, you can feel the pains of the consumers, and you can feel the pains of the overall policy makers also, insofar as the higher amount of investment are concerned. Always the investments and the finances are not so easily available, and when we have to strike a balance, in spite of we may be knowing the highest end of the technology, and the technology may be available, but the legacy systems are also there, and in those legacy systems, we have to take care that the investment is fruitful and in a meaningful way. Also, there is one more thing, that there is a lot of inertia in the system also. It's the human tendency, the basic inertia. Inertia is to the change. We cannot change overnight. Change has to be gradual. Naturally, what the concept we have adopted is, let us first try the successful pilots, learn from the pilots, and go ahead on a mass scale rollout. So that has been the trend of all the industries also, and the same thing has been in the metering industries. Insofar as the growth of electricity is concerned, we have the huge generating capacity nowadays. Earlier were the days when we started the carrier, there were the deficit situations and long breakdowns or the blackouts were there. Equipments were failing in the distribution system in a large number, and the breakdown time was long. Restoration time was also equally long. It was mostly because of the lack of information and lack of communication system in many of the cases. Those who were the better managed utilities, they could do it through the management practices and through better inventory control and the management of resources, either in the form of the workforce or in the form of the tools and tackles. So that was the phenomena. But slowly and slowly the technology is taking place. Technology is playing a role, higher role, and is still playing higher and higher role, and the human interventions are being reduced. Same is the case with the metering industry. Earlier the time was that the electromechanical meters were there. Of course, they were working successfully with limitations of the technology, that what level of the accuracy should be there. Higher accuracy level could also be achieved, but the limitation was the cost. If you try to achieve a very, very high accuracy and very fine architecture of those particular meters, you need to invest slightly more. But with the change of the technology, the electronic meters came. I have been part of that journey also, that how the electromechanical meters were changed to the electronic based meter. Lot of hue and cry was there, that meters are running fast and the old meters were good. So industry might have been blamed and was blamed that these are inherently faster meters and giving a higher consumption, showing the higher consumption and a higher burden on the pocket of the consumers. So all those overcome. Then came the further advancement in the technology, that there would be the two-way communication of the information as well as of the power, and the name was given the smart meter. Lot of time took to arrive at a consensus on what the smart meter should be called as. One of the important feature of the smart meter is that it should have the self-connect and disconnect facilities from the remote. Consensus was not so easy to arrive at it, but ultimately the technocrats, the policymakers, and everybody realized, the solution provider realized, that if we have to have something known as the smart or the digital, we have to have the cutoff facility also. And that has been inbuilt into the meters, and that is part of the meters as well. It is basically for the purpose, intentionally any utility do not want that we want to cut or we want to disconnect the supply of any consumer. But the managerial aspects, the financial aspects, and the aspects related to the tempering and other things, they force that we work out some solution, and that solution in one form is the connect and disconnect and limiting the consumptions. Another thing which comes is the peak load management at the consumer end and making the consumer a part of the demand side management and the load management program of the utilities. Time of day features are very universal, and those time of day features have been built into these meters. Metering, billing and collection has been a hot topic of each and every discussion at each and every forum like this, and ultimately what happens, the bills are not being realized, bills are issued, not realized, metering errors are there, and the metering disputes are also there. Lot of energy of the utilities are being wasted in the solving the disputes related to the meter. Then came the concept of the part payment and other things, and the payment under dispute. These things have been of the past, and now is the advent of the prepaid meter, and that too in the smart meter version. Prepaid meters were also there earlier, but proliferation was not so high because we were having the inertia to the particular change. But with the government programs and the government supports, the metering industry has grown further. Utilities are becoming conscious. They are now ready to accept the technologies, and in that technological part, they have accepted that the prepaid metering is one of the solution. The society also accepts that the prepaid metering is a good thing. We all have the prepaid system in our mobile phones as well as the postpaid system. So both the type of the systems could be there, and the prepaid metering offers that I have the flexibility as per my pocket, as per my estimates, as per my investment, as per my capability to charge my electricity consumption for the future days. This way, it's a win-win position to both the customers as well as to the utility. Utility get paid and they need not raise the bills. Only cost which is increasing is the recurring cost of the data communication and relying on the technology which is slightly higher, but with a mass scale rollout, the costs naturally of everything comes out. Similar thing is happening in the case of the meter also. Another thing is that smart meter is a part of the smart grid initiatives. We should remember here that smart meter is one thing which has replaced the ordinary type of the meters. Ordinary type of the meters were not having full of the information which are required for so many processing, say temper detection, load profiling, peak load, and what the voltage and frequency have been, what the power quality aspects have been. This smart meter in summary overcomes all such difficulties and provides you a lot of information so that with the help of the analytics and the billing systems data, you can carry out the all sorts of the analysis and design your plans, and also utility get a help that in what quantum and in which mode they should purchase the power. Their power procurement planning is also based on the accurate metering or the better metering of the data. Since I have named the word the digitalization of the electricity, it's a reality, it should happen, human intervention should reduce because the complexities are increasing. The overloads are the realities in the system. Human intervention, if try to relieve the overload of a particular segment of the system, may not be so accurate that the resultant things are in a properly ordered manner. So in order to avoid that, we have brought in the concept of the smart grid, which is said to be self-healing grid, rerouting the configuration, changing the configuration or reconfiguring the network as per the system requirement and as per the need of the system, and also having the status of the breakers, circuit breakers, isolators, so many devices, the tap changers positions, and other many things, which are all the dimensions of the smart grid. Smart grid is one thing that we should know what it can, and if we remember the 13 famous pilots, they were not for all the things. Each and every pilot was to the specific need of one or two. Say peak load management is one aspect, demand side management is one, then distribution automation was one of the pilot. So like that they were having the specific themes, and those themes people are now thinking and having a misnomer that the meter can do all the wonders. And as you know, the metering is a system now. It's not a simple element that you go purchase a meter and the things are over. You have to have the full-fledged system which have the data communication systems, reporting system, data collection systems, meter management systems, and header systems. So these are part of the AMI. So now what we known as, we are talking and we are calling them the AMI service provider. Their responsibilities are large. They have to have built up, they have to ensure the transparent system without any flaw. The breakdown time has to be minimum, and particularly the consumer management, the consumer engagement, the consumer participation, and the acceptance by the consumers is their responsibility. They have to inbuild the confidence among the consumers. They have to build a trust in that the utilities are serving them in a better manner and in a transparent manner. So these difficulties have been overcome, and further improvements will be taken up, with the help of the established practices and the feedback. So there has to be a feedback mechanism also. So that's why where the in smart meter as a component can play a role, because it has got the two-way communication systems. Of course, other automated tool and the feedback mechanisms are there. Now again, let me come to the system metering. In the case of the system metering, the feeder metering is there and distribution transformer metering is there. Why feeder metering has been emphasized, or why feeder metering has been taken into the scope of the utilities? It is because that we should know how much energy is flowing from one particular source to the, particularly to the consumers, and in different segments of the different components of the electrical utility infrastructure. So feeder metering will tell you, or the feeder meter will enable the utility that what the input energy is. Naturally, it's here also a metering system, and the feeder metering is basically, typically the three-phase systems. Either it is 11 kV system or LT feeder. So it has to be a three-phase system. And from the feeder comes the another important element, that is the distribution transformers. Distribution transformers also have the electronic meters, or these smart meters, you can say, or I should say the advanced version of the meters. Earlier also the meters were there. On a pilot basis they were planned, they were installed to carry out the function of the energy auditing. So energy accounting and auditing is another function which the metering installations can provide. So feeder metering I have just mentioned. Similarly, DT metering I have mentioned, and more important is the consumer metering, which is the cash box of the electric utilities, and from where the cash is realized. The expectation in the name of the smart grid from the meters, either the DT meters or the feeder meters, should not be to the extent that it replaces the function of the RTU. For the distribution automation and the smart grid realization, there are other components also other than meter. I am repeating, other than meter, the other components are there, known as the remote terminal units and the SCADA functionality. So we should not forget that meter is not the overall solution of each and everything. It's not a single pill which will provide the solutions to all the disease. So particularly the feeder meters and the DT meters, they should not be expected to do the functions of the status of the breaker, status of the isolators, or other devices, other analog systems, that what is the circuit breaker position, whether it is on or off, what are the tap positions. So naturally the meter cannot do such things, and as a planner, as an utility operator, we should not expect and we should not burden unnecessarily the metering industry that you provide this. I think it is unfeasible. That is my personal view. So again, since the meters are the building blocks, the initial building blocks of the smart grid, and by meters when we say, we talk of the consumer meters. Feeder meters as well as the DT meters, they are mainly for the energy accounting and auditing purpose. Let them be confined to that purpose only, so that some gainful results are obtained and we are not burdened with a lot of burden of the information and the data. Another thing is, the data communication also needs some form of the energy. From the meter, the data is sent to DCU, data communication system, and then to the HES or the MDM system. We should devise our system judiciously, that what is required, it should not be an additional burden, because this additional burden consumes energy, also it incurs cost. So two-way it is harmful in terms of the consumption of energy, additional energy, as well as in terms of the cost to the consumers and cost to the your server systems, wherever this data is being stored. So that has to be judiciously defined, and if something is being observed and is unnecessary, that should be curtailed off. Whatsoever was written, I have not taken a single word from there, but hope, I do not know how the time organizers will provide to me, but I think sensibly I should come to a stop here, with the saying that whatsoever has been done outside the country, our operating conditions and the geographical conditions as well as the load patterns, they are different. Particular category I would like to mention is one of the agriculture type of the category. There we have to have the metering which provides a solution, which doesn't provide that much sophistication. That much sophistication also is not required there. Feeder segregation program has already been taken up. That is helping the utility as well as the metering industry as well as the transformer industry. Transformer overloads are minimum now because of the separation of feeders, and the peak demand patterns are also changing with the inflow or the injection of the renewable energy, particularly during the solar hours. Earlier the practice was for the agriculture loads, the irrigation pump set load, that they be supplied during the night time. But now the solar feeders have been designated, and the peak, because of the peak contribution because of the irrigation load is coming during the daytime. It has various social advantages and social implications, and also a sense of social security among the users, among the irrigation pump set users. So I will say the best of luck to the organizers, best of luck to the industry, all the best those who are investing in the new solutions. And we should not forget the architects who are behind the scene. They are behind the scene in providing many digital solutions and many softwares. And particularly we are also lacking, the industry should move from such platforms that we don't have the ICs, required ICs for manufacturing of the meter in the country. And one more thing, the Make in India components, about the Make in India components, several debates have taken place. Industry presented its view that they are having more than 50% of the domestic content. I am also convinced, but somewhere the things are tangling. Some hurdles may be there, here and there. And if the chips are also being produced here, then there will be large number of meter manufacturers here. Integrated solutions can be provided by those meter manufacturers and the smart grid architects, those who are building up the smart grid architecture. And the cost will also come down, local content will also go up. So that will be a real thing in the Make in India initiatives, which the government wants. So with these words, let the industry grow, let the industry get stabilization, let they have the long-term policies from our side. So we also need proper feedback that what are the stumbling blocks, where the hurdles are coming, what are the problems. Sometimes we do not even know what the problem is, and they keep on struggling among the utilities as well as utilities and the service providers. At a national level, the things should be brought to the notice. Solutions should be suggested by the industry itself that this is the suggested solution, and we have had the consultation with the utility, so that we could also have the larger consultation with the utilities as well as the meter fraternity and arrive at the possible solutions and the proper directives. Thank you all, thanks a lot, and thanks for inviting me and giving this podium. Thank you.